1. Introduction. My name is Lily. I am 28 years old. Mark is my best friend. I know him since we were children. One day, Mark called me. I was happy to hear his voice. He sounded very excited. "Lily, I have big news," he said. I asked, "What is it, Mark?" He shouted, "I am getting married." I was quiet for a moment. Mark getting married? He had a girlfriend. Her name is Serena. I met her a few times before. She was pretty, but she was also different. I tried to sound happy for him. "Wow, Mark, that's great news," I said. He said, "Her name is Serena, you know her." He added, "And Lily, I want you to be a bridesmaid." A bridesmaid? For Serena? She did not know me very well, but Mark is my best friend. I want to be there for him. "Of course, Mark," I said. "I will be a bridesmaid." He sounded happy. "Great, Serena will call you. She is making all the plans." After the phone call, I sat on my sofa. I thought about Serena. I remembered when Mark met her. He was so happy then. But when I met Serena without Mark, she was not very friendly. She talked mostly about herself, about her nice clothes and her important friends. I hoped she would be good for Mark. He is my oldest friend. For my friend, I decided I would try my best to help. I would support him and be a good bridesmaid. 2. The messages begin. Soon after, the messages started. It was Serena. She sent many messages to my phone. At first, they were about the wedding plans. She wanted help with choosing dresses. She said the dresses should not be too pretty because she was the bride. She wanted all eyes on her. Then, the messages became like orders. Serena asked me to do many tasks for the wedding. She asked me to find designs for the invitations. She wanted them to look expensive, with gold colors. She said she had too many things to do and needed my help. I have a job. I work full-time at a flower shop. I like my job, but it makes me tired. I also like to paint in my free time to relax. Serena did not ask about my job or my painting. She just asked for help with the wedding. She sent messages asking why I was not answering quickly. She said she was very busy. She said Mark told her I was good at organizing things. She wanted me to help with the list of where people would sit at the dinner. I told her I was busy with work. She replied that the wedding was more important right now. She said it was important for Mark. She used his name to make me help. She asked, "You want Mark to be happy, right?" I felt a little angry, but I said I would help when I could. She also asked about a small party I planned for my job. I was getting a promotion. She texted, "A party for a flower shop promotion. Is that a bit small?" She said maybe I should cancel it. She thought I needed to save my energy for her wedding parties. I did not cancel my party, but her words did not feel good. 3. Mark does not listen. Serena's text messages kept coming. They felt more like commands than questions. "Lily, call the cake shop now. Lily, find the right color ribbons for the flowers. Lily, remind Mark about going to try on his suit. There were many texts like these every day. It felt like a lot of work. I thought about the messages. I felt I needed to speak to my friend Mark. One evening, we met quickly at a coffee shop. "Mark," I started gently, trying to be careful. "Serena, she sends a lot of texts. She seems very stressed about the wedding, and she asks me to do many different things." Mark looked tired, maybe from the wedding planning. "Oh, Lily," he said. He sounded a little unhappy. "Please." "She is just like that. It is her very big day, you know. She wants everything to be perfect for the wedding. Can you please just help her? Can you support her on this for me? It really makes my life much easier." I was surprised by his words. Do this for him, I thought. "But Mark," I said. "She even said my small party for my job was small. She wants me to focus only on the wedding things." Mark let out a long breath. "She gets a bit like that sometimes," he said. "Just try to ignore those things. It is just her way of dealing with stress. She will be much better after the wedding day. You will see." I did not feel sure about that. I felt very sad inside. It seemed like Mark did not see the real problems. Or perhaps he did see them, but he did not want to think about them. He seemed okay with how things were. Later that same week, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Serena. The message said, "Mark told me that you think I am demanding. Lily, I am the bride for this wedding. This is how it must be. You are a bridesmaid. Your job is to help me. Do you understand this?" My chest felt tight and my heart felt heavy when I read her text. I knew immediately that Mark had told her what I said to him at the coffee shop. He had told her my private thoughts. He chose her side so very quickly, without thinking about my feelings. I felt hurt and betrayed by my best friend. I had tried to talk to him, but he did not listen, and then he told her. 4. The rules for the speech. Serena called me 1 week before the wedding day. Her voice was friendly, which was new. "Lily," she said, "you have known Mark for a long time, so you should give a speech at the party after the wedding." "Oh," I said. "Okay, I can do that." I felt a little happy. I could tell some nice stories about Mark. We had so many funny times when we were kids and later. "Good," Serena said, "but I need to read your speech first. Before the dinner the night before the wedding, I need to check that it is okay." I was a bit confused. Why did she need to read it? "And Lily," she continued, her voice becoming serious, "the speech must be mostly about me. You must say how happy Mark is because he is marrying me. You must say how I am a very good wife for him. You can say you really like me. If you do not know enough good things, you can make some things up. Just make me sound wonderful." I was very surprised by this. "Make things up?" I asked. "Yes," she said, "and listen carefully. You cannot tell old stories about only Mark. Especially no silly stories from the past. You can only tell stories that have me in them, or stories that make Mark and me look like a perfect couple. No private jokes between you and Mark. This felt very wrong. My long friendship with Mark was full of these private jokes and shared memories. They were the heart of our connection. She wanted me to forget all of that history. She wanted me to pretend that my relationship with Mark was only important because of her now. It was strange, and it felt like she did not respect my friendship with him. She only cared about how the speech would make her look to the wedding guests. She wanted a picture that was not real. I felt a mix of shock and sadness. How could she ask me to lie? And to ignore years of real friendship? It was not fair. I did not know how I could write a speech about Mark and Serena without talking about Mark's past. It was a very difficult thing to ask. I felt trapped by her rules. I thought about all the happy times with Mark. She wanted to erase them from the speech. It was a strange request for a friend to make. A speech should be honest. 5. The bride's party. The bridal shower was in a beautiful room at a hotel. There were many women there, all friends or family of Serena. Tables had nice flowers and small cakes. Everyone was dressed nicely. Guests gave Serena gifts. There were many big boxes with expensive things inside. Serena opened each one and smiled. She said thank you loudly for the expensive gifts. Then it was my turn. I gave Serena my gift. It was a vase that I painted myself. I worked hard on it. I put her favorite flowers inside, the ones Mark told me about. I thought it was a special gift from my heart. Serena took the vase. She looked at it for only a moment. Her smile was not as big as before. "Oh," she said, "a vase. How artistic, Lily." She put it on a table quickly. Her mother did not smile when she saw it. She seemed more interested in the next big box. Later, while people were eating and talking, Serena spoke to one of the other bridesmaids, Mia. Serena looked at Mia's dress. "Mia," she said, loud enough for some people to hear, "that color is not good for you. It makes you look pale." Mia's face turned a little red, and she looked down at her plate. I felt bad for Mia. It was not a nice thing to say. After that, Serena came to me. She took my arm and pulled me a little away from the group. She spoke quietly, almost a whisper. "Lily," she said, "about your speech for the wedding." I waited. "I need you to add something important." She held up her wrist. There was a new, shiny bracelet on it. It looked very expensive. "This," she said, "is a diamond bracelet. Mark bought it for me. It was a surprise." She smiled, a different kind of smile now. "In your speech, you must say that Mark gave this to me. Say he is so generous and he likes to buy me beautiful things. Say he spoils me." She looked at me, waiting for me to agree. I was surprised. Mark had told me he was trying to save money for the wedding. He said it was costing a lot. He never mentioned buying a diamond bracelet. It felt wrong. Serena wanted me to tell a lie in front of everyone. a lie to make her and Mark look like they had a lot of money, like they were very rich. "It will make us look good," Serena repeated. "Just say Mark is very giving." "It's important." I did not say anything. I just looked at the bracelet. Serena waited, her eyes on mine. She expected me to say yes. I did not know what to say. 6. The last problem. The night before the wedding was the rehearsal dinner. We ate at a nice restaurant. I felt very tired of everything. Serena was not happy with her food. She spoke loudly to the waiter. Then Serena came to my table. Mark was with her. She talked about my speech. "Lily," she said, "your speech is okay, but it needs more about me. Write more about how kind I am and my good ideas for work." Mark looked at me. He just nodded his head. "Yes, Lily," he said. "Just add more about Serena, please." I felt sad. My own words and memories about Mark did not seem important to them. I needed some water. I went to a small area near the bar. Serena's mother, Mrs. Peterson, came to me there. She did not smile a real smile. Her mouth was tight. "Lily, dear," she said softly, "I hope you will not say anything silly in your speech tomorrow." I looked at her. "Silly?" I asked. "Yes," she answered. "Do not make Serena unhappy. This day is her dream. She worked very hard for it. We all know that, Mark. Well, he could have chosen other people before." She looked at me for a long time. Was she talking about me? I thought. "But he chose Serena now," she continued. "So please be a good girl. Make sure everything is perfect for my daughter. Do not ruin her day. She has had problems with all the planning and making sure everyone does what she wants." Her words were like a hit. She thought I wanted to hurt Serena. She thought I wanted to stop the wedding. This was too much. All the anger and sadness from the past weeks came up inside me. This was the last problem I could take. I just nodded my head to her. But in my mind, I made a very important decision. I knew what I had to do the next day during my speech. 7. The wedding speech. The wedding day came. The sun was bright in the sky. I felt very calm. This was strange because it was a big day. Inside the room where the bride was getting ready, it was not calm. Serena was telling people what to do. She was unhappy about her dress. I saw Mark for a short time. He looked nervous. He gave me a small smile. I had a gift for them, but I decided not to give it. Instead, I put a small wooden bird in my bag. Mark made it for me when we were children. Later, everyone was at the wedding party. There were many tables and many people. Mark and Serena sat at a special table. Serena looked happy and bright. Mark looked a little lost. It was time for the speeches. The best man spoke first. His speech was safe and not very interesting. Then it was my turn to speak. Serena smiled at me. It was not a real smile. Mark looked down at his food. I walked to the front of the room. There was a microphone. My hand felt steady. I took the microphone. "Hello, everyone," I said. My voice was clear. My name is Lily. I have known Mark for almost all my life. I smiled at Mark. He looked up. He seemed a little surprised that I was so calm. Mark is like a brother to me, I continued. We have shared so much together, good times and hard times. He has a very big heart. I paused for a moment. When Mark told me he was going to marry Serena, I wanted him to be happy, truly happy. I looked at Serena for a second, then back at Mark. Mark, I said, speaking directly to him, you and I talked about the plans for this wedding, and you said something to me one time about Serena. You said about how she did things, that sometimes a person just has to play ball because it is her day. A sound went through the room. Some people made a noise of surprise. People started talking quietly to each other. Serena's face changed color. First it was white, then it became red. Her mother looked like she was very, very angry. Mark was staring at me. His mouth was open. I continued speaking. My voice was still clear and steady. And you also said, Mark, I said, looking at him, that soon you would be dealing with her nonsense for the rest of your life. More gasps came from the guests. The room felt very quiet after that. I wish you the very best, Mark, I said. I truly do wish you happiness. And I want you to know that I will always, always be here for you. Always. I paused one last time. Especially, I said, looking at him, especially when things get difficult for you. I finished speaking. I put the microphone down slowly. The silence in the room was very, very big. It felt like everyone was holding their breath. No one moved or spoke for a long moment. 8. After the wedding, the music tried to start, but the room was very quiet. Serena began to cry. Her crying was loud and sounded angry. Her mother quickly went to her side. Serena's mother looked at me with a hard expression. Some guests looked very surprised. A few older people in the room slowly moved their heads up and down, like they understood something difficult. Mark did not look at me. He was trying to make Serena feel better. She was pointing at me and speaking quickly, but I could not hear her words from where I stood. I knew I should leave. I took my small bag. I walked out of the big room. I left the wedding. I drove my car home. On the way, I felt two things at the same time, sadness and relief. I thought about Mark's wedding day. I thought I might have lost Mark's friendship for a time, but I also felt that I had spoken my truth. I had spoken for myself and for the Mark I knew for many years. The next few days were silent. No phone calls came from Serena or her mother. This was surprising. No calls came from Mark either. This felt like a hurt inside me. After about 2 weeks, my phone made a sound. It was a text message from Mark. The message was short. It said, "Lily, why?" I thought about his question for a long time. Then I wrote my answer. I sent him a text back. It said, "Because you needed to hear the truth, Mark." everyone there needed to hear it too, and I needed to say it. Your friend, the Mark I knew, once said that sometimes a person has to play ball because it is her day. He said soon he would be dealing with her nonsense for the rest of his life. I just reminded you of your own words. What you do with that truth now is your decision. I did not know if Mark would understand my words. I did not know if he would forgive me. I did not know what would happen between him and Serena after my speech, but I knew one thing clearly. I could not just stand there and watch my best friend walk into a life that seemed built on quiet lies and being unhappy. 1 month went by. Then, one afternoon, my phone rang. It was Mark. His voice was quiet. He sounded unsure. "Lily," he said, "I am at that small coffee shop, the one with the blue chairs. It is near your old apartment. Can we meet and talk?" I took a deep breath. "Yes, Mark," I said, "we can talk." I did not know what the future held for us, but maybe, just maybe, my best friend was starting to see things differently.